Hey gamers, it's grindthisgame here. I've been reading a lot about this new game called Axie Infinity over the last, about a week or so. This is going to be a little bit different in video. It's not going to be gameplay, it's going to be me talking about this game. So it might be a little bit rambly, it might be a little bit disorganized, but it's a pretty cool concept. I guess the year's been in development for about 4 years, but it recently really took off in terms of popularity. So what is this thing? It's kind of like Pokemon. You get this team of, here's a shot from the game. You get a team of 3 little of these things called Axies, and they have different attributes. And it's kind of like Pokemon or like Magic the Gathering. It's a turn-based game, and you play these cards, and they have traits. And you can either play. Let's talk a little bit more about the gameplay here. So the other interesting thing is that it's all on the blockchain. Basically, there's 2 currencies in the game: Smooth Love Potions, or SLP, and AXS, which is just Axie. I'll talk about that a bit later. But players can earn actual real money by playing with these pets. Here's some ways you can earn down here. You can compete in PvP battles. You can also play in PvE against machine characters. You can also breed Axies, so you can take 2 of them, mate them together, pay a fee to mate them, and then have babies that you can sell in the marketplace, and I'll get into that as well. There's other stuff you can do, and there's some stuff coming up in the future, but here's a bit more on the gameplay. As mentioned, you can battle in adventure mode. You can also earn that SLP currency, which I think right now is trading for around 20 cents or something per SLP. And if you grind for like an hour or 2 a day, you can make around, I think, 200 of this SLP currency. Like I said, each one's worth 20 cents. So you can make a decent amount of money. And this game is really taking off in the Philippines, like big time, because people are able to earn like a living wage by playing this game. The prices in the game, though, have been inflating like crazy, so I'll get into that as well a little bit later. So here's some information about the breeding. This is all in the white paper for the game. Some of the information is a little bit old, but each Axie can be bred a maximum of 7 times. And you have to pay, this is where the money comes in. You have to pay this amount of SLP for each kind of subsequent generation that you pump out. Most people don't breed them all the way because it gets so expensive. So in addition to this SLP cost, remember SLP is right now around 20 cents per SLP. It also costs 4 AXS tokens, which right now cost about $40. Let me just check the market here on these 2 things. So Axie Infinity tokens cost $45, so you need 4 of those for each breeding. And then the SLP right now is around 18 cents. So yeah, you can breed them and then you can resell them to people on the marketplace. They also have their own kind of system of genetics, which is pretty cool. I'll probably do feature videos that go into some of the depth and details on these things, but it's pretty involved. It's pretty cool. There's some future stuff coming up with land where you'll be able to, you can already buy the land, and it's quite expensive right now. It's pretty cute. These guys are a little cute, but you'll be able to get a piece of land and do various things on it. I think you'll be able to kill other PvP monsters and collect stuff. It looks pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly when this comes out, but it's in development. It looks pretty nice. I think they also have an idea to be able to allow players to build mini games inside the game. That'll be interesting. There's more here about play to earn and talks about some of the economics of the game. But let's check out the 2 currencies that I mentioned before and kind of the trend in the price. So back in 2020, the price of this AXS token was around 40 cents. And then it started to grow. Here let's see, back in April 2021, it hit a peak around $10, and then it collapsed down to about $4. But more recently is where it's gone, just absolutely bonkers. And it's close to an all-time high right now at $45. Now, this has a fixed supply of 270 million tokens. The current circulation is about 55 million tokens. As far as I know, there's no way to actually generate these. They won't print anymore past 270. And like I said, every time you make a baby Axie through mating, it burns or uses up 4 of these tokens. So it's kind of deflationary. Eventually this number should come down. Then the other currency is the smooth love potion. If we look kind of the last year, this is all real money stuff. You can convert these tokens into real money and deposit them in your bank account. Like they have actual value, kind of like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So smooth love potions, they started out like at a penny each, had this huge spike up to 36 cents, then a crash. This is the story of like the cryptocurrency market, booms and busts. Back up to 34 cents and then down to 17 cents. Now kind of the long-term issue with these, in my mind, is going to be that there's one way to kind of generate them, and that's by doing the adventures and playing the game. You can make, like I said, around 200 a day. So that's kind of like inflating the supply of them. But then on the flip side, there's a sink that's using them up, and that's through mating them, which I mentioned back here, the breeding. So this is using them up, and playing the game kind of makes more of them. And I did some kind of rough calculations here, and I kind of estimate that, and this could be totally wrong, but it's estimated that there's about about 35 million of these SLP tokens are being consumed each day by mating the Axies. And then there's about 185 million being generated by all these players playing the game. Now, those numbers could be off, but they're pretty rough estimates. That means the supply of this thing is ever growing. And generally when you have like an increasing supply without a change in demand, the price will collapse. And that's, I think, what's happening right now. The player base is growing so quickly that they're all farming this token. And it kind of reminds me of the days of Diablo 3, where they had a real economy where you could farm gold in the game and then sell it for real dollars. And what happened was tons of Chinese farmers and other farmers, and even I got in on this. I set up some Diablo bots and farmed currency in the game. I had like VMware running, and I was running I think 10 or 12 clients of the game in kind of a loop, doing the same map over and over, generating gold. And then that gold you could sell in the real marketplace, exchange it for real dollars, deposit it in your bank account. And they basically had hyperinflation. There was no real sink in the game to soak up those coins, so the price of the gold just collapsed. And then they eventually just shuttered it because it was kind of a failed experiment. But let's take a look at the marketplace. So there's the game itself, and then there's the marketplace. These are some of the recent sales, recently listed, sorry. We can see a few seconds ago, this little critter here sold for $668 US. This price is the Ethereum price. This is the dollar price. So these things aren't cheap, as you can see. You need a team of 3, remember. The cheapest ones, they sell for about $300. Well, here's one that sold just now for $1,500. The better the stats, the more money, obviously. And there's a whole bunch of different kinds. But we'll look at some of the cheaper ones in a sec. But it takes about $900 to make a team, $300 each. Now, it was cheaper a few months ago. But if you just wanted to get started, and I recently spent $900 US buying 3 of these things because I want to try the game out. And I might want to try farming out as well. It's a pretty big investment for, a virtual good, but I just wanted to try things out. So I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll do some videos on the actual gameplay. So there's 46, almost 47 of them for sale right now. You can see the total volume. So $27 million US traded on this marketplace today. 46,000 Axies were sold. But check out the stats for the last 30 days. Total sales in dollars, $1 billion. $1 billion US dollars. Absolutely insane. Craziness. Total Axies sold. Let's go take a look at the marketplace. This is where you can actually go in and buy them. So you can see that this is the cheapest ones. It's sorted by lowest price. And I think even some of these have sold out. There's some caching issues where this one's probably already sold out. Let's just actually take a look here. Yeah, auction no longer available. They have some issues with keeping up with the refreshing. So this one over here, let's see. This one's still for sale. So it's a real thing. But these are the cheapest bottom of the barrel ones, and they cost $300. You can buy them in egg form as well, but they take 5 days to mature into the actual cute little critters here. Now, I mentioned a whole bunch of people in the Philippines, I think, are playing this game. It's really popular there. And the reason they started playing it is they could, a year ago when these things were way cheaper, they could buy these things pretty cheap and start earning actual money. Like some people were making $30 a day, $40 a day or more. And that was an actual living wage for them. And during COVID, where they weren't able to go to their job, they just got the game, bought these critters, started grinding it out, hours a day and making SLP, which they sold for real money, and started making a living wage. Now, people starting out now, I think in the Philippines and some other countries, $900 to get started is just way too much. And $900 gets you really crappy characters. You probably have to spend actually closer to $1,500 to $2,000 US to build a good team to actually start earning decent amounts of money. So that's way too expensive. So what people have done is people who can afford to buy them buy these teams, and then they rent them out to people. It's called a scholarship program. So people who can't afford to buy them, they basically borrow them from other people and then split their earnings with their manager. So it's kind of like this own ecosystem that's building up. Pretty crazy. Show you this other tab here, this site, Crypto Slam. We can see some of the NFT, non-fungible token collectible rankings. Axie Infinity is the number one with $1 billion in sales all time. This number doesn't quite match what I just showed you in the other thing, but $749 million US sales in the last 30 days. Just absolutely crazy. Last 24 hours, 26 million. CryptoPunks, if you've never heard of it, it's just like digital art that's been selling. So that's the number 2 NFT right now. And there's a whole bunch of others. There's the NBA Top Shots, which are basically like video clips. I don't know exactly too much about this, but video clips that are selling. There's a whole bunch of copycats as well. Me bits. I don't know what half of these are, but the biggest one right now is Axie Infinity. I think the reason this thing is just so hyped and so big is that people are able to make a living wage playing a game, like grinding a game. Grind this game. Hey, it's pretty crazy. I wanted to take a look at some of the biggest sellers. So here we got, these are the whales, basically. These are the people generally breeding Axies and selling them. So top sellers over the last 3 days, this guy here made 114,000 US in sales. Like there was some cost involved in doing this, but number 2 did 111,000 US dollars. So it's almost like 30 grand, just about 30 grand a day these people are making. Now they have costs, like I said, it costs about $160 plus the SLP cost. So let's say, I don't know, somewhere close to $200 is the floor. Actually, it's probably closer to $180. So just to make a copy, to make a baby, it costs 180 US. And then if they have really good genetics, like I said, they can sell for. Let's look at some of the highest priced ones here. How can we do that? Well, I can show you some of the crazier rare ones like Origins. Check out the prices on these guys. 13,000. These ones are super rare. There's only so many of them printed. So that's why they're 20 grand each. And people are actually spending money on this. It's pretty crazy. There was a guy who made a video. He spent 150 grand buying a few of these. One of them cost 75,000 US. He did it back in February. He already flipped one of them for a pretty good profit, but you can just change this here, this pureness. But there's no pure origin one, so let's check out here. The pureness basically means that they're all their traits. Let's look at a pure one here. All their traits are of the same kind, and these traits here, their mouth and their horns and stuff, determine which cards they get. As you can see, some of the details here. There's like a tank version, there's a DPS version, and there's like a utility version. Let's check out some of the land that's been selling though. I don't know if we'll be able to see that on the dashboard. Oh yeah, actually we can. So check out this recently sold land. Now the land there's only so much of it, but these sales happened today. An hour ago, someone spent 15,000, 8 minutes ago, 15,000 actual US dollars buying this plot of land in a virtual game. You can't even do anything with the land yet. It's like a feature that's coming soon. I don't know where these people are getting their money. 69,000, 21,000, $63,000. This person bought this for $63,000. Absolutely crazy. There's also items that you can buy and sell. These are a little bit more reasonably priced, but they're just virtual items that you'll be able to put on the land. Still not usable yet. And then there's bundles of items and land. It's pretty crazy. Let's go take a look at. Did that? Here's one of the big breeders. So this guy has 482 Axies. Most of them, if we go to page 1 here, are eggs. So he's been mating them like crazy. Once the eggs mature, then he puts them on the marketplace and sells them. That's why he has so many eggs, pages and pages of eggs. And then once they've matured, he goes and sells them. I think some of these ones that have like 95% this purity, he's using to actually mate them, crossbreeding them, and then selling the offspring. Like I said, they can only mate 7 times, and there's certain rules for siblings not being able to mate and stuff. So you have to be careful about the breeding, but that's another topic. Here's the actual blockchain. Now, they had to create their own blockchain because the Ethereum blockchain was causing, the fees were too high, it was too slow. So they created their own Ronin blockchain. And you can see some of the details. So this is someone's account. This might actually be this is the same Charles guy here. And you can see anyone's Ronin address. So here you can copy it. 1A, it starts with 1A, 2A. I think this is the same guy, 1A, 2A. Yeah, so this is Charles here. His 479 Axies. He's got some SLP, he's got some AXS. And he's got some WETH, which is wrapped Ether, in his account at the moment. So he's got about $30,000 worth of Ether. and he's got all these Axies that he's selling. And you can see the sales here. So 8 minutes ago, he sold one for 0.15 ETH. And you can see he's been selling and selling and selling like crazy here. You can also see when they actually mate them. So if we look at, let's look at this transaction here. This was a sale. Now the house, as in the company that makes this game, Sky Mavis, they actually take a 4.5% cut, and that's what this piece here is. So that went to the parent company, and then the rest went to the person who sold it. And if we actually look at the Axie, we can see some interesting things here. We can see the initial generation of this little guy came from this account, which is like the origin account. This is the company's account, and that went to this person. And then let's take a look at that transaction. These are contracts that are basically executable code. So this is the contract that bred one Axie with another Axie. It took 4 AXS tokens, it took 1500 SLP, and it popped out this baby here. Pretty cool to be able to look at the contracts, and you can see anyone's history in detail. What else do I want to talk about here? Oh, they hit the 1 million daily active user count recently, and like I mentioned, $1 billion US in all-time trade volume. Almost all of it in the last 30 days. Just absolutely crazy. There's some more talk here about the fees and the growth. Look at this growth. Crazy. This guy here is their head of growth. So the company's making absolute ridiculous gobs of money. But a lot of the players are making money as well. So instead of like a typical game where you spend 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, 100 bucks on a title, and all the money goes to the company, these new crypto NFT kind of blockchain games are spreading the wealth out over many, many players and the community. Now, the company's still going to make gobs of money, but it's a little bit more spread out, which encourages people to play. I mean, some of the older games like Ultima Online, or more recent, well, I guess they're not recent anymore, but World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and I remember there was a marketplace for characters, not a legal and legit one, but there was, companies that sprung up that would let you sell your characters, sell your gold, sell your, your best items. There was an internal auction house, but then there was these marketplaces outside. So people were grinding away, and they were selling their stuff on these marketplaces. This is just a more programmable, auditable, formalized way of doing that. And you don't have to, there's no trust needed because everything is on the blockchain. It's a little bit less, it's harder to do fraud, even though it's still possible in some ways. Here's another article, talks about it, and here's a bunch of people in the Philippines playing this game, grinding out, hours a day. Some people enjoy it, I'm sure. Some people probably find it's more like a job. They're talking about scholarships here, which is where people buy the 3 Axies and then loan them to people who can't afford them, and then the people play the game, a couple hours a day to make the wage, and then they split the earnings with their manager. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, so cool game. I'll be probably doing a few more videos about this thing. I'll be doing a video after I get my characters ready to play, and just to show you the gameplay. There's tons of videos out there. Tons of people are making YouTube videos about it, so I just want to make a video about it just to show you guys. Anyway, the NFT space, these pay-to-earn games, play-to-earn, I think they're going to be kind of a force to reckon with. So So anyway, let me know if you've heard of this game, if you plan to play this kind of game, what you think of the blockchain, what you think of cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and it's a crazy new world. Lots of speculation, lots of pumping and dumping, but it's the Wild West. I think there's money being made in lots of corners of this world. I don't know if it's sustainable, but I guess we'll see. I hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit different of a video, but let me know if you want for me to do more videos like this in the future. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.